When you say this before the podcast, we were actually talking, and I was like, I started this as like a quest for truth, right? And finding what is the thing that makes all these people successful? Like, what is the thing they're doing? What are the things they're doing? I'm like, oh no, it's something they're not doing. I noticed that all the most successful guests don't drink alcohol, right? They sleep at a decent time. They're avoiding certain foods. They're not becoming like lazy and like sitting in bed all day. You know, it's about the things that you don't do that differentiates you rather than the things that you do. Who's the most impressive person you've ever met?
Who's the most impressive person I've ever met? I've never thought about that question. It's actually a really good one. A lot of people come to mind. I'm highly impressed by a lot of people. I don't know.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice that I ever received is that you are what you think about. Everything that you think about, you become. You become what you think about. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle determines your destiny. So everything begins in the mind. If you can control and wield your mind, you can very much determine your destiny. If you can determine that regardless of what your mind says, you will go to the gym, you will develop a physique unlike 99% of society. If you decide to work on your business and you decide and you commit and you determine your mindset and you wield it, you can become successful. If you determine to be a studious individual and knowledgeable, you will be knowledgeable. If you determine to be rich, you'll be rich. Everything is in your control. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. Broke people and successful people are both self-made, but only the rich and successful will admit it. They're the only ones that will admit it. The person that's broke, that's struggling, it's hard for them to admit that they are there because of the way that they think. But they are there because of the way that they think. Not only that, but it's also understanding that you can't solve the problems in your life with the same information that caused the problems in the first place. Yeah. You need new information. So you need to become a new person. You become a new person by what? Adopting wisdom, transforming your mind. So that's my data set. That's my information. And I think that at a macro level, if you can control your mind, control your habits, control what you feed into your system, into your soul, into your body, through your eyes, through your ears, you can very much control your future and your destiny. The biggest piece of advice that I've gotten is you are what you think about. Control your mind and control your future.
Well, everyone, this has been the Jack Neal podcast. This is your guest, Luke Blermar. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Hashtag undeniable in the comment section if you want to become an undeniable person. When somebody looks at you, they say, this person is the real fucking deal.
And think about why you did that.
Opportunity is so vast because it's borderless. Another guy's sitting in one of these dry markets selling these goods, 1848. And he's listening, key, observing, understanding, pattern recognition.
Thinking.
And he's listening. And he's listening to the miners complain that their knees hurt, that their pockets are ripping, they can't hold their tools. So he sets out to build, better resistance pants. He creates denim. His name is Levi Strauss. Did he get rich off of mining the gold? No. He got rich off of offering solutions to the ecosystem or the opportunity of the gold rush at hand. Today, it's happening on the internet. If you can provide value, the marketplace will reward you massively. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. This internet thing, it's a 200-year industry, bro. It's just getting started. It's year 20, bro. Machine learning's been going on since 1950. Retail's just getting the winds of it, bro. This thing's already been running.
Yeah.
Just look at Skynet in China. Look it up. It's been crazy. So what I'm explaining is we need to be thinking in the future. Shit's moving really quickly. People are talking about politics. Who gives a fuck, bro? Trump won't be around in 15 years. The policies that he establishes, this thing that, yeah, but the market will pump. Okay. Yeah, my meme coin bag's going to rip.
Is that the only reason you pay attention to politics? Because it's tied to the markets?
Brother, they're all in bed together. It's all a show.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's a scam. All of it. Left side, right side of the same fucking coin. Left wing, right wing of the same motherfucking bird. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a story about Mr. Jones, and Mr. Jones is having trouble in his plantation because the slaves are acting up. They're not performing. Mr. Jones is having an issue in his plantation because he's beating his slaves, but he's not getting the ROI that he wanted. So Mr. Jones goes and asks his buddies, his fellow plantation owners, what's the solution to get more out of my slaves? And he says, you need to go and get a hold of Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith will fix your plantation. So Mr. Jones goes and inquires with Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith says, don't worry, tomorrow at first hour, just call all the slaves and I will what is philosophy? People talk, you see all these philosophy channels. Well, what is philos, philosophy? Philos means wisdom. Philosophy is the study of wisdom. How do you study wisdom? How? That needs to be discovered, because if wisdom is what inclines you towards better choices in life, then the pursuit isn't to make better choices. The pursuit is to find what? Wisdom that will change you from the inside out, and that manifestation and that change will reflect into a new life.
Beautifully said. What music do you think is demonic? And what music do you listen to now?
Bro, so I tapped into this new ADHD music. So I tapped into this new ADHD music. I think it's called the brown noise, or dark noise, something like that. And that's pretty much what I'm tuned into, because I can't work or think and have music and lyrics, because I'm thinking about the lyrics and I'm thinking about the music. So I operate in a very silent space. Anything to me that is commercially available for the ants and it's all about the fruits, the results. Faith without works is dead. Talk about faith in action. But there's these fruits of the Spirit. So it's like, okay, well, you have this transformation. You're becoming a better person. You're getting closer to God, which makes you, develops you and takes out all the toxicity inside of you. And you begin to hear about what are these fruits. Fruits are, we're talking about these manifestations that come out. And you have something called the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faith, gentleness, self-control. These are the things that come, that naturally are birthed, right? The good things are birthed from a relationship with God, not from forced. So when people are like, oh, you have to work hard to be a good person. No. You have to be transformed, like Jesus says, and like Paul talks about in the New Testament, by the renewal of your mind. You're not transformed by going to church and listening to the pastor talk to you about what God says. No. You're transformed by the renewal of your mind. So by renewing your mind, to know or which one or the other, email, SMS, neither, Telegram.
Telegram or Signal?
Telegram.
Remote work or in person?
In person.
This can be for employees or...
In person.
In person. Interesting. YouTube or Instagram?
YouTube.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Rolex or Patek?
Rolex.
Rolex or Richard Mille?
Rolex.
Interesting.
Do you want? I wish I could tell you why, but I can't.
I'll ask you one more and then you tell me why. King Solomon or Leonardo da Vinci?
Solomon. King Solomon.
Really? Wisdom or wealth?
Wisdom.
Messi or Maradona?
Messi. 100%.
You're going to tell me about the watches.
Rolex started as a non-profit. I think it's still a non-profit. And the founder used to be an orphan. So a big percentage of the profits go towards orphanages. So I support it from that stance. But from actual... I would have to go down the books and I would have to go down the Swiss rabbit trail of their accounting and figure out what their Virgin British Island kind of tax haven ecosystem. I don't know, but that's kind of the narrative of the story. But from an actual watch perspective, craftsmanship, I love RM, man. So good. Patek, I got a couple of them. I started collecting them. They're really nice pieces, but this feels more like a daily watch to me. The Patek feels more like a piece of jewelry. Feels something I don't want to scratch. I don't want to wear it on a daily basis. It's nice though.
Do you think it's more about the products or more about the communities with these companies?
The community is what makes the product valuable.
You say you're a follower of Jesus. What do your prayers look like?
Jesus teaches us how to pray, and it's called the Lord's Prayer. And inside the Lord's Prayer, so Jesus tells you he teaches you how to live an incredible life. So he teaches you how to pray. So it's like you have a relationship with Jesus. Okay, perfect. Well, who was Jesus praying to? He was praying to the Father. Okay, well, so you pray to the Father. Okay, and what did he pray? Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So blessing God first. Give us today our daily bread. So just give me what I need. Everything else is abundance. May your will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. So whatever your purpose is, let it be manifested on earth. Forgive us as we forgive those that trespass against us. So God will give you in proportion to how you treat others. Jesus teaches you how to live, teaches you how to pray. My communication with God, my communication with what I believe to be the source of divinity is the request for discernment and wisdom. When you ask God for something, he'll give it to you because he says he'll give it to you. Knock and it shall be answered unto you. Seek and you shall find. It's not seek and maybe you will find.
Yeah.
No, you will find. You may find something that you weren't looking for, which is required. So if God's going to give you a lot of resources, talent, he's going to expect a lot from that. So you have to develop into those things. And then God starts giving you things. And then you begin to read people like Solomon when he talks about Lamentations in the book of Lamentations, that everything is a vanity. Vanity of vanities. He has 1,000 women. He has palaces. He has kingdoms. He says it's not worth it. Okay. Then in the book of Ecclesiastes, he says from dust to dust. You came from the dust. You will go back to the dust. The king is the same skeletal build out than the peasant. It doesn't really matter. So you begin to listen to the wisdom. And then you begin to understand the words of Jesus, where he says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So everybody says, do you believe in God? No. Because Jesus doesn't say, believe and you will be free. It says, know the truth. And what does Jesus say that he is? The way, the truth, and the life. So if he's the truth, following him will lead to freedom. So I have a 2-year wait list on it, but we have about 80 to 100 people. That is a tight group every single year that gets together in different places of the world. I'm actually, from here today, I leave at 8 p.m.
You're going to Paris?
I'm going to Paris. I'm doing an event in Paris. And then from Paris, I'm headed to Singapore. I'm doing an event in Singapore. And then I'm headed to Bali, and I have my big kind of like mastermind retreat there. And then I'm back over here. So I'm kind of like glitching through the matrix, just trying to like connect with all these people because I find it really valuable. So just really cementing the digital relationships into a physical experience is found to be highly fruitful. So focused on that.
Why do you gamble?
Everything in life is a gamble. Everything in life is buy low, sell high. What's the percentage of success in business?
0.
Very low. Oh, what's the success on a blackjack trade? Or what's the success on a roulette? What's the success on the flip of a coin? Is the flip of a coin a higher success rate than starting a business? Do you have to gamble on yourself in order to get that promotion? Everything in life is a gamble because
ad spin behind it. Maybe you redo the creative and then put ad spin behind that. What do you do when you have a winning piece of organic content?
You post it 100,000 times. If it got 1 million views and it entertained 1 million people, then there's pockets of other people that have the same interest as that million somewhere else. I just have to be able to push it enough times for the algorithm to feed it to that group of people and puts you into that people group. That's why I post one piece of content every 4 minutes.
But you package it differently, correct?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Maybe not. The point is, it's a winning piece of content. So my job as a content creator, that's why I got 9 million subs in 1 year. Because you're marketing content as opposed to creating content that is marketable. So my game is a marketing game. It's not a content creator game. That's why content creators experience burnout, because they think that making content is what's going to get you subs. No, it's part of the equation. Marketing the content that you're making is more important than the content itself.
Yeah.
That's why the guy that says in an interview, "Why are you gay?" You know why that video has billions of views? And it's the only video on the internet of that guy is because it's a winning piece of content. It's a viral creative. It causes engagement and it's evergreen. It can be relevant in 20 years. So you take these 4 pieces of a formula and you create a piece of content. I need to talk about things that are going to be relevant in 8 years. You don't think I'm going to be repurposing this video in 8 years?
Yeah.
100%. Otherwise,
people think the content they're making is the marketing, but it's the product. Yeah.
Correct. It's the creative. It is the ad. And then the distribution is what? The ad dollars. Except you were counting on Meta and Instagram and Snapchat and Google ads to do the distribution for you. But what happened? Nobody fucking liked boosting their Instagram posts because it was gay and it sucked and it was terrible and it was a horrible user experience and it was a pay to play and you only got boosted. And then TikTok rolled around and said, "Fuck you guys, new algorithm, new meta, anybody can go viral, just make something dope." It's not about followers anymore. It's about reach. It's about attention. Go for it. Now people get one view that gets 1 million views. Just that operate at a unit level for the good of the unit. That's how countries are formed. That's how religions are formed. That's how cults are formed. That's how companies are formed. When everybody unites towards a common vision. Every narrative that you see today is the cumulative of a lot of people adopting that belief system. So it's the same way with everything else. And that would be kind of my perspective. You have to understand that would be my answer. Quite simple.
Do you think they share their alpha with each other?
There are groups like banks that benefit in everybody colluding. There's benefits in every intelligence agency sharing intel. There's benefits in every company having a BlackRock board member on it.
Yeah.
So I do think at a certain level, whether it's nation states or countries manipulating other countries through investments, look, distribution is everything because they're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that decide what is and what isn't. I'm famous by choice.
Yeah.
If I wanted to disappear today, I could.
You think people can disappear?
Absolutely. 100%.
What was the deciding factor for you to appear?
It was easy. The gap or the glitch of short form appeared, which was what? You didn't have to be a bitch or bend to the YouTube algorithm. You didn't have to do the thumbnails. You didn't have to clickbait. You could just force your way to the top. So that's what I did. You can break systems and algorithms by force. You can reverse engineer them. That's one way, the Mr. Beast way. Reverse engineer it, understand the algorithm, or you can break it. And you can break it by sheer force. So when my first year of content, I do 2.9 billion views, get 9 million followers. That's by choice. If I want to not have those followers, I just turn off all my distribution machines and then I'm done. And what I've come to realize is, why am I doing that? Because it's cheap.